So, you want to cure chronic fatigue with your diet. Well, the good news is there is so much that you can do. And with the next 3 videos, I'm going to explain to you exactly how we use food as medicine in functional medicine. The first thing to ask is, what does it mean to cure chronic fatigue with your diet? I don't really like the word cure because that implies that it's either all or nothing, that either you've got chronic fatigue or you haven't, when in reality many of the symptoms are quite opportunistic, and although you'll feel fatigue all of the time or a great deal of the time, other symptoms can come and go. So really this is a spectrum, and what we want to do with your diet is try and make sure that there's more good times than bad times, more energy than not energy, and that every day is better than the day before. One of the questions I'm often asked is, what should I be eating to give me more energy? Or what should I be eating so that I can cure chronic fatigue with my diet? And the answer really is not what you might think. So in the next 3 videos, I'm going to show you what you need to know about your food and your lifestyle so that you can cure chronic fatigue with your diet. Step 1 might come as a surprise to you. It's not what you should eat to cure chronic fatigue with your diet, but what you shouldn't eat. Because actually, rather than using your food as your medicine, you might inadvertently be using your food as a poison. So I'm going to tell you what 3 things there are that you might be eating or consuming that might be making your chronic fatigue symptoms even worse. The first of these things that might be making your chronic fatigue worse is coffee. That one thing that everybody wakes up in the morning and thinks, oh, I just want my first morning cup of coffee to get me going, to give me the energy to see me through the day. But the reason that might be making your chronic fatigue worse is that coffee is a stimulant, but what your body might be needing is a rest. Because stimulants work by stimulating your adrenaline and your cortisol, hormones that really get you out of danger. So by drinking coffee, you're telling your body all the time, you're in danger, you're in danger. And that's exhausting. So the first thing that you can do to use your food as your medicine and to cure chronic fatigue with your diet is to cut out the coffee. No stimulants from coffee, because if you feel like you can't get going without a cup of coffee in the morning, that means that you really do need to rest, because coffee is a little bit like stealing from tomorrow to feed today. So, number 1, let's cut out coffee. The second thing that you might be eating that could be making your chronic fatigue worse is a lot of sugar. Because when anybody, we're all guilty, aren't we? Any of us will think, oh, I just need something to pep me up just for the next couple of hours to get me through this meeting or to get me through the rest of the day. And we reach for a bar of chocolate or maybe a sweet drink or something like that. And that sugar rush, we think, gives us energy. But actually what's happening behind the scenes in your body could be something called insulin resistance. Now this takes a long time to build up, but let's face it, if you've got chronic fatigue or ME, that might also have taken a long time to build up. It doesn't just appear overnight. And I'm not really talking about long COVID here, but that also falls into this category because that doesn't appear overnight. Even when you catch the virus, some things have been setting the scene beforehand. So quite often that is something called maybe insulin resistance or inflammation in your gut. And in the second video, I'm going to explain more about what that means. But for now, we'll just say that artificial sugars or too much sugar, if it's not being metabolized in your body, will give you an energy rush. So yes, in the short term you'll get what you want, but in the long term it's very likely to be contributing to your fatigue and to other gut dysfunctions that can go alongside that can cause headaches, low mood or mood swings, and a lethargy, a kind of lack of motivation. So like I said, I'll explain more about that in the second video after this, when we look at gut function and chronic fatigue. The third thing we need to look at if you want to cure your chronic fatigue using your diet is about cutting out energy drinks. So again, much like caffeine, if you've been having things like Red Bull or Lucozade or fizzy drinks that have got lots of artificial sugar in and perhaps have caffeine added as well, then you've got a double whammy. Because just as I told you the caffeine isn't great for you because that's stealing from tomorrow to feed today, and I said that the too much sugar and reaching for a chocolate bar might be creating something called insulin resistance and inflammation in your gut. Here we are with the third thing, which is energy drinks that's got both all wrapped into one. So yes, they do give you energy, but only in the short term. And if you keep having it when you've got chronic fatigue, then although you might feel like it's getting you through the day, in reality, it's probably making tomorrow worse. So that's just a quick snippet of what to do if you want to cure chronic fatigue using your diet. There are certain things, not that you should be taking, but that you need to be eliminating.